Welcome back. With some of the nice weather we've got, I'm going to go ahead and get the side dresser and the drive unit put on this 1973 Farmall 140. The side dresser was an attachment that was provided for these tractors for basically after your crop came up, you could drive down the rows and inject fertilizer, primarily nitrogen, along the side of the crop, and then that would boost production or boost yield during the growing season. And then you'd see these mostly used on corn or tobacco. I haven't really seen it used on anything else, but I guess they could be. But corn and tobacco are the two things that come to mind right off the top of my head. Now this tractor here never had the corks pulled out back here on these holes where the mounting pad is, on the rear mounting pad. So I got to take a knife and cut those corks out and then put the bolts in. Let's go ahead and dig that out. And these have been in there since the tractor was new. And they put those in there from the factory to keep the threads from getting destroyed. I'm just going to set that there. Slide it. That's on. And this clutch right here is what's going to engage. And it rocks on there. And that's what makes the chain catch. When they ship this right here, they put this on backwards. Pop this cotter pin off. I had to look at it for a second. It reminded me of putting the starter rod on the John Deere, because it's kind of the same idea. I kept trying to put it on upside down. It didn't work, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, and finally it dawned on me it was upside down, and then it was like magic, it worked. IH was good enough to make it so that you can have your fast hitch on and a sprocket that goes in here. And one of the cool things about this one, instead of the cub one, is that it just has a pin that goes through it with a cotter pin, instead of like the cub wherein you have to put a bolt through it. This right here, once you put it on the tractor, there's no reason to take it off again. You have to disassemble the chain in order to make this work. I guess there's no really good starting point. It goes over the drive cog here. This right here is supposed to mount there. So that's the next problem. I got to loosen this up just a little bit so I can put this part in there. Otherwise it's not going to work right. There's a lot of times when I know a 1/2-inch drive is just not going to cut it, so I go with the big boy. Right off the bat. You don't need to take this up too much, just enough to get that part in there. has to be a little bit more than that, unfortunately. It's almost on. Pretty close. Now I'll just rat-a-tat-tatch it right back up. I know you're probably saying, maybe it goes on the other one. Well, I'm sure that it doesn't, because this is the one you have to unhook to put it on. The other one just goes over. So, I know what that is all about. Maybe Super A's are a little different, I don't know. So try this again. It goes over this one in the back. Under this one. I can take this off and I can hook that back on after if you need to make everything fit right. And then that goes on like that. So everything's on. And I probably should have gone up one more link, but it's okay, it's not going to come off. If you go on too tight or don't have enough links, you'll never get it on. So it's not going to come off. It's in there good. And as much as I'm going to use it, which isn't a whole lot, it doesn't really matter too much, but you may want to measure it when you're doing it and see if you can get one more link out of it, but I really don't think you can. I think it would be super tight if I took out one more link. And as it is, there's not a lot of slack, and you got the idler here anyway to hold it down. So I think we're in good shape there. And everything's been greased up and oiled and ready to go. All right, we're all connected. I just want to use my gas gauge, piece of wood. Yeah, looks like I got plenty to do what I'm going to do, which is just tool around the driveway a couple times. So I've gone ahead and put the fertilizer on here, and I think I need a little bit bigger washer on this. This is an aftermarket, so it's not going to be perfect, I guess. And it doesn't want to go down. Doesn't want to go down where it belongs, which is down here somewhere. Disengage it, you're going to push your pest control all the way forward, and it's just the chain off. You can do this on the fly, but I think it's better on everything if you do it after a stop. So you got to lower your cultivators because you're going to cultivate, and that will activate this, and then the chain will start turning. Listen to that thing purr. That's how they auto idle, just like that. So I've got it so that when I put the cultivators down, it engages the drive here like that's what it's supposed to do. and then when I pick the cultivators up, it shuts it off. But what I don't like is this little thing here on the sprocket on this idler, and I'm going to show you here what that's all about. If you look right here, this is really sloppy, and what happens is it wants to, because it's so sloppy, it wants to push out like this, and then the chain comes right off the cog there. So what I think I'm going to do is cut a little piece of pipe, make a bushing with some washers here, and that'll keep that, I think that'll keep that a little bit tighter. I don't know why this chain is so slack. I don't feel like it should be that slack, but that's the one that came with it. And the other one is perfect. So look under here now, you can see. All right, so I'm just gonna pop this little guy out right here if I can. That thing's been in there for a while, apparently. All right, so this is what I got. I thought I have a little bit more. I think that'll work. What was happening is it was just coming way over. Now it can't. Those washers are big enough so it'll kind of work. Keep that on that cog there. This whole thing is just really sloppy. All right, I think that'll solve that problem. Alright, well in a nutshell, that's how you put your side dresser on a 140, Super A, 100, 130, etc. And if you haven't already, just pick up a copy of the operator's manual for the cultivator, and it's got the setup instructions and operating instructions for the same in the back, and you can get these on eBay or probably some other places too, pretty cheap. So handy to have. Appreciate you watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks.